I guess, introduce yourself.
So my name is Mariah Barrera, and I am an aspiring filmmaker and photographer, and I'm spending a summer at NYU Tisch School of the Arts.
Well, what are you doing specifically? What are you like focusing on here?
So while I'm here, I'm focused. So basically, we're taking what would be called in someone's first year at NYU Tisch for filmmaking to be called Sight and Sound. So the basis of the class is that we're focusing on storytelling without sound. So how do we make compelling narratives visually without the element of sound, because they want us to build a strong foundation for how we tell stories and people being able to understand things visually without needing the extra context of that dialogue or sound would bring. So it's very storytelling focused, but we're also learning production, and we have a few projects that we work on, but that's the basis of it, is mainly the storytelling.
Amazing. Well, how is it just like being in New York versus Grand Rapids in general?
It's definitely inspiring, like the change of geography and how many people are who are here pursuing creative things. It's just inspiring. I don't really know how to put that into words. It's just being able to walk home at night after class and see the Empire State Building right there. It just makes you feel like you're a part of like such like a bigger picture of everything, and I don't know, it's just inspiring.
Yeah, dope. So you were a part of the WAMCAT program. What summer was that?
Oh, okay. So the when we did the Mayor's Grinning Youth Initiative, that was ninth grade, and that was like my first time like being on like a real set, and I think that was like one of the moments where I realized I really want to be like a film director. Like I want to make films. That was definitely one of the shaping experiences, I guess.
Yeah, what was that feeling like to know?
It just felt relieving, because I always knew I wanted to do something creative, and for a long time that was photography, and I still want to be a photographer, and I am a photographer. But being on that set and like how everything went from planning to execution, and then seeing the final product and realizing I was capable of doing something like that and directing something like that, once I realized like, oh man, I can really be a director, it just felt like a sense of relief, because usually it takes people a long time to find their passions, and a lot of people don't find it very early on. So I guess it just felt like relieving, and I feel very lucky that I've figured out what it is I'm passionate about at a young age.
Yeah, definitely. That's really dope. And you were able to cultivate and grow in that craft.
Yes.
And then you won Mosaic Film Experience with, was it Breathe? No, Breathe wasn't.
Breathe was the Mayor's Greening Initiative,
Yeah.
and the first one was Tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
Yeah, that was another one of those moments where like I realized like this is what I want to do, and I realized too that I can like talk about something important through art. Like I knew that, but once you actually do it and like see how it's impacted people, that's just more like confirmation and validation, I guess.
Yeah, but would you do it, I guess, even if everybody was like, I really didn't enjoy it, like that was not the best film that I've ever seen, I don't like it. Like, would you still feel like I am happy with this, I've done it well?
Yeah, so like there are, I remember I saw a quote once, and it was like, it was something along the lines of that, like, would you still do art if like no one was going to see it? Like, would you just produce it for yourself? And like I remember when I read that, I had to like think about it, like get to the root of it, like actually ask myself, like, am I doing this just for other people to like see and validate, or am I doing it for me? And like I think social media plays a large part in that. Like I have like a photography account where I like would post some of my video work, and like I like kind of stopped using it for a while because I realized like I was paying too much attention to like, oh, like when should I post this? Will this post do well? Like, oh, people didn't really give this one as much likes as this one. Like maybe I should post more portraits or whatever it may be. And I took a break from that for a while because I really had to like regain my sense of self. Like I'm making my art for myself, and like I'm gonna like my art regardless of other people like it. And throughout this last year, I've made like a lot of different like videos and worked on photo projects that I still haven't shown anyone, but they're just for me, just knowing that like I was capable of making something like that, but I want to keep it for myself. Like that's kind of what I've done. And I think at first it was a little bit of like, I feel like I needed validation from other people, and like the validation feels good.
Yeah.
But like once I got to the root of it, I realized like I can just make art for myself, and I'm comfortable making art for myself regardless of how other people receive it. And if they receive it well, then it's like, wow, that's great. But if they don't, it's like it was for me to begin with.
Yeah. Very healthy outlook. Yeah, 100%. Because I know that can be a reason why people don't start, why they don't want 100%. To. And when you made Tomorrow, was that on your phone?
Yeah.
Okay. So no excuses.
Yeah.
I definitely saw a lot of like Grand Rapids scenery and just a lot of nature in general. Is that usually like the focus of a lot of your pieces?
Yeah. I like try. So before I got the camera that I currently have been using, everything was done on my phone, and it started out with me just using iMovie and making video edits to like my favorite songs, like Frank Ocean songs, because he's like a large source of inspiration.
Yeah,
for
I saw
me.
the secret piece, the YouTube.
Oh yeah. I worked on that for a project too, but like I would just like use my phone and just take videos of things around me that I thought were beautiful, and I would have it in the back of my mind. Once I made a video, I'd have stuff to like pull from, like let me just capture all these beautiful moments, and maybe I'll find out a way to like put all these moments together for something meaningful. So I just kind of built up, and I still do that, I just build up a collection of like beautiful moments that I can capture right there in the moment, not really having an idea of what they'll be used for, but I like having them. And then once I have an idea for something, just knowing I have content to grab from is like kind of how that process goes. But especially with my phone, like it's just so convenient to like see something beautiful and just take a video or a picture of it with your phone. So yeah, definitely like I'm inspired by what's around me and like just using my phone to capture it.
That's amazing. Has that been something that you've been doing like while you're here, just capturing, you know, you being on set, you being around other people? And you said that it's international.
It's just so crazy, like meeting people who like know nothing about where you live or nothing about who you are, but you guys still connect like in some way, and we're all connecting through our passion. But like not knowing anything about each other but still being able to like form a connection has been like really eye-opening and beautiful to me. Like I don't know.
Yeah. There's something beautiful about like if you were in class and then you're in a group of people who actually care about the project and you're all working on it together and then you just turn in this amazing work and you're proud of it.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's kind of how it must feel to be here, where everyone really cares about the project and like wants to put their best foot forward.
100%. Yeah, that's exactly how it is.
Are you being exposed to different kinds of roles within filmmaking?
Yeah, so we usually, when we're on set, we'll rotate between who is like, who's the director, who's the DP, who's like the first AD. Like we all kind of, we rotate between, and it's been very fun for me to like take my hands off the camera or to take my hands off directing and just like help someone make their vision come true. Because when we had to work on our first week, we worked on an exercise where everyone had their own idea and we were serving as crew on each other's like crew, like their shoot day. So like I was there helping someone with their project, then they're helping me with my project. So like when I know someone has a vision and like helping them execute it without having to be the one to do it, like I don't know, that's been very fun for me, like to like not have the directing role but just like literally be an assistant and help someone make their vision come true because they care about it.
Right. And I feel like that's a very beautiful way to look at it, and also very selfless. And so I think that just art in general is just very noble, because you have to be selfless in order to do it, because it's really just giving. It's all you're doing when it comes to being creative or being into art. So I guess, how do you feel like you practice selflessness in your work, or if you're inspired by how you've seen other people collaborate with each other?
So, I mentioned this earlier, but like I have a hard time sometimes like letting myself not be like the forefront of a project, where, and what I mean by that is like not always controlling everything, whether it's my idea, someone else's. Like I kind of have trouble with that, but like being here and like when you know someone's passionate about something, and whether it's the same passion you have about something or like passionate about something different, but you guys want to create something about it, like being exposed to just different people and like what they care about has like helped me to be selfless, if that makes sense. I don't know if I'm explaining it right, but just knowing that I'm passionate about this and they're passionate about that, I can kind of be empathetic towards what they're passionate about and just like do whatever I can to help them show that in the ways that I have. Like I guess just exposing myself to like other people and like who they are as creatives has just kind of helped me be selfless because I want to help them and they want to help me. So it's kind of like it's just empathy all around kind of, and that's kind of what's helping all of us here just be more selfless and not always feeling like we need to be the person like doing something physically.
Right, it's community.
Yeah. 100%.
And I think that it comes from understanding that there's room for everybody.
Yeah.
You know, and you even said that you would like to go back to Grand Rapids and bring really cool things back from the programs that you were able to gain so much from, like WAMCAT and Mosaic Film Experience. So I guess that understanding that there's an abundance of space will help you to just help one another, like
100%.
And that's the only way that you can grow, and there's certain things that people are into that you don't know about yet. And I think that the one thing that's really cool about being in a space like this is like you didn't even know that other person existed until you met them.
Literally, that's like exactly how it is. And like I think that's been such an important lesson for me to learn and for other creatives like to learn, is that there's enough room for everyone, because I feel like especially when it comes to these things, like a lot of people who like would come to something like this and just be around other kids who literally are doing the exact same thing as you. Like they want to be filmmakers. They've like done all these cool things. Like for a lot of people, including me, like probably 2 or 3 years ago, like that would feel kind of almost discouraging to me. Like, oh, if all these people are doing it, like what is it about me that'll make me be able to be successful in it? But like what you said, recognizing that there's enough space for everyone because we're all individual people with our own stories. Like no one can tell your story better than you can tell your story, and you can't tell their story better than they can tell their story. So it's like every path's individual, and we just happen to want to do the same thing, but there's enough room for everyone. And that's definitely something I think all creatives like that needs to be said to them over and over again until they like
it's not
grasp it.
oversaturated. Because that's always a concern for people.
Like they think like, like it's especially like telling people like I want to be a filmmaker. Like it's been something that I have a hard time doing when they're like, oh, what do you want to do when you get older? I'll be like, well, I kind of want to be a filmmaker, but like if that didn't work, I guess I'd want, like I always feel like I have to say my plan B, because people just have like this preconceived notion that it's just not like achievable. Like it's like, oh, but it's like, what do we do every day? Like whether you're watching YouTube videos or you're watching commercials on the TV, like there always has to be someone making those, and like you're consuming it all day. So why is it so hard to believe that like I can be one of those people, or you can be one of those people? Like you have to remind yourself how much of that media is actually there and how many people are creating it, you know? Like it takes a lot of people, and once those people are done making it, there has to be a new generation of people who have to kind of like keep up and like carry the weight and like keep producing for people to consume, I guess.
100%.
Like, that makes sense.
No, I definitely feel that. Because that was me when I was a TV film major. I would always be like, yeah, I want to make film, or I want to be a filmmaker. Or I think I mostly went into it thinking about, I had an obsession with music videos. So I wanted to go to school for TV and film to be like a music video director and to be a filmmaker. I think that I went around and was like, I want to do art direction and cinematography, all that, like director of photography maybe. But like we were talking about earlier, it's about that process. So somebody who wants to do all of this, they realize how much work is in it, and they're like, oh God, I didn't know. Like I'm not able to see myself, put that much collaboration in it, those many hours, because you said that you work like 10 to 14 hours.
10 to 14 hour days,
yeah, at this program, and that's just like training for how it really is. But you find that thing that energizes you to the point where you're drained, but you're still like happy. You feel like
I feel satisfied at the end of the day. Like I created something I was proud of, so it makes like all that hard work worth it.